It's time, my friends, for another Devo tip on the book of Revelation, chapters 8 and 9. Now, the book of Revelation is challenging, isn't it? But it's important to remember that Revelation is an apocalyptic prophecy, which presents its material in numbered sets that parallel and intensify as God exonerates the righteous and brings an end to history as we know it. So the 7 trumpets actually parallel the seals of persecution. That is, divine judgment may fall at any time on those who oppose the cause of Christ. The 7th seal begins with silence, and then it offers the response to the prayers of all the saints. In Revelation chapter 8, it says, "The smoke of the incense with the prayers of all the saints rose before God." What happens to all the prayers that have been offered by God's people? Well, John sees them lit on fire and thrown back down to earth with peals of thunder, rumblings, flashes of lightning, and an earthquake. Yes, God hears all our prayers. He hears the prayers of his people, and the trumpet judgments are his answer to them. So this kind of cosmic disturbance language always signals an epic shakedown. Rather than taking a rigid chronological approach to the trumpets, try to think of John's vision as cameras recording events from different angles. Notice how the first 4 trumpets impact natural resources and mimic the plagues sent to the Egyptians for persecuting God's people. But just as Israel was protected from whatever struck the Egyptians, believers are shielded from the trumpet judgments, and they are sealed. That is, they are enabled to persevere because they have the Spirit of God on them. The next 2 trumpets are explicitly marked off as being far worse than the first 4. So when the risen Jesus commands the shaft of the bottomless pit to open up, that's when hell's nastiest demons are unleashed to psychologically torment those who abide in spiritual darkness. As bitter anxiety heightens, the persecuting world will long to die, but death will flee from them. That's what it says in Revelation 9:6. But note, these locust-like demons are like horses prepared for battle, which leads to the 6th trumpet. That the precise hour has already been set to release the 4 Euphrates angels underscores who is in control. Heaven is command central. Whereas the locust demons are not permitted to kill anyone in the 5th trumpet, the 4 angels of the 6th trumpet lead a terrifying number of vicious, demonic troops that kill a third of humanity. This army is from hell. Astonishingly, those who survive these plagues, it says, refuse to repent of their sins. And even more shocking, they continue to worship the very same demons who torment them. Satan's minions are permitted to carry out their dirty work, but they cannot touch believers. Believers are shielded and sealed. That is, they are enabled to persevere. You see, the trumpets carry out Christ's response to those bent on persecuting his people. If all this is hard to swallow for you, perhaps there's a deficiency in your theology of persecution. This is what Peter says. If you are insulted for the name of Christ, you're blessed. Because the Spirit of glory and of God rests upon you. Yes, a heightened sense of God's glory emerges in persecution. Thanks be to God.